ngisathi ngisafuna ukubukisisa ngibona umuntu a male aphethe sibhamu akhombe Maseko ngifuna ukuthi ngibuke Maseko kuthi ngisafuna nje ukuthi sweet nive nje qhuma ngithi ngiyambuka Maseko ngimkhanza Maseko sowuhliphiki yabona kwathi kuyaqhuma ngambona nje athi yasho yathi I have people to deal with you ngidathi nase nginisebenza silalele usilalela kuqala usilalela kugcina ndase ngithi nase nginisebenza ningabo bese niyakhala lokho ngivisa abhlungu ngenkulumo yababe Alpheus Nxumalo kusho ukuthi yena kukhona la kwadiko lebekufuneka kube khona lapha crime scene mina lengingakwadi kusho ukuthi naye abe khona.
Sivusele Maseko sibonga kakhulu ukuthi ude namuhla ehlelweni la the bridge nekokuthi ke besilana 2 weeks or so ago sithe tombstone unveiling ihamba njani did it receive the intention it was meant to be?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Mancoba and ngiyabonga ukuthi nende lesikhathi sekufika ekhaya kaMaseko. I-unveiling yaMaseko, I think kimi it just was for kumkhumbula number 1 and number 2 ukuthi ahlale kahle bengimuntu lobekade ithanza kakhulu so indzawo lala alele khona ngingajabula ukuthi kube indzawo lenhle lefuthumele and welcoming kunoma ngangibani lo ngathi angathi uyamkhumbula Maseko ede ekhaya acele kuyohlala amvusele abe khona so for me kwahamba kahle kakhulu kwecalane kwesibili ne support lesithi siba ngaMaseko siyithole eMaswatini ku community yakalihleko iba overwhelming iyajabulisa iyangithokodisa kusho ukuthi bantfu vele noma saphila Maseko bebamthanza noma sangekho Maseko asalele solo bayamkhumbula solo bayamthanza so le unveiling kimi yathi bantfu solo bayamthanza Maseko solo bayam appreciate.
Bengikhona emgcwabeni ngabona ngendlela bokusikitela ngakhona bantfu kwakuphume wonke Sadak wonke Africa nabantu basemangweni I mean angati kwalithola nilithuba lokukhulumisana nalabantu labanyenti kangaka labeta batansingatha kulomsebenzi mhlawumbe selithuba lokuthi angathi noma ngathi kutibongele singakubonga kufa.
Uyabona ukuthi indzaba yaMaseko isilonza lesikhulu kimi lengingathi noma siyoke siphole yini. Uyabona ukuthi nawusaphila nemuntu you always take that person for granted ucabange ukuthi you still have another day with that person. Maseko he was a very humble man and abengadichayisa abengadicapi so kuMaseko bekukuthi medem ngisayemsebentini medem ngiyahamba ngayinele ngihlangabede airport tikhwama tami timpahla tami medem so he would never really come across as going to all these meetings nje
bongabona obukhulu bakhe until
exactly angikabuboni bukhulu bakhe but bengibona lendlela bekatimisela ngayo ngemsebenzi nelithandvo lebekanalo nemsebenzi wakhe nekuhlonipha umuntu nekuhlonipha abantu. Umgcabo waMaseko angathi yathi
memorial
angathi ingqondo yami ngiyadi ukuthi angathi ukuthi ngingachaza kanjani. I was there in the physical but I think emotionally and otherwise nganginemibuto leminingi ngangisebhlungwini lengangadi ukuthi ngidabuchaza ngithini Mancoba but ngicela nje kubonga kubantu bakalihleko kuMaswati onke ku region Southern Africa Sadak but to Africa as a whole for embracing and loving Thulani aphila and embracing and loving him asangeka safila sadulile and eMaswati Sadak colleagues organizations institutions nanamuhla asalele Maseko abakakhohlwa ngaMaseko bayamkhumbula. They are willing to go the extra mile for Maseko which kimi nebantwana bafana waMaseko angimati la khona ngifuna ukutibongela nakuyi luthandvo lwakhe nekutimisela kwakhe kuyatibonakalisa kimi nalabantwana sangekho lolithando lengilithola konyalo noma sangekho liyakhomba ukuthi wamaseko abangendeli kubukwa abengendeli ini abendela ukuthi umsebenzi wenkululeko yemaswati ube khona ubonakale emhlabeni.
But also lokungijabulisako ngathi kona sijabulela kufa sijabulisa ukuthi uthite noma Maseko asahambile ngibona ungazuthi lelivi lakha alikavaleki so lokhu liyachubeka ukhuluma through you now but umvukatibuta ukuthi ukuthathaphi lesibinzi nalokuthi phela you are still grieving but ukhone ukuthi meet people advocate for the same things lebekade imele Maseko so that Maseko's legacy really doesn't die continues nonetheless.
Yade manqaba I am getting emotional because you see bantu abangamati Maseko bantu labamatiko bantu labaphilile naye closely now Maseko mina ngiphile naye until his last moments and you see lo mbuto wakho ukuthi ngisithathaphi lesibinzi you are taking me back naba tambopha 2009 sasathandana sasengathathani
for the sedition case.
For the sedition case, yes. Ngithola nje message lethi I've always been sweetie ke. Sweetie, they've taken me in. Ngicela ukuthi ungisupport. That's 2009. Okay, but where it really hit home is when bamthatha bambopha 2014. Ngiexpecte mina ukuthi Maseko atonglanza. Ejimini kumathaphu usuke embabane sitobuya kanye ekhaya kalihleko ngikhanze nakhona imessage athi ayike kudadatela madam hayikhala imoto iyeta utayiletha enhlabathi you'll drive yourself home sebangibophile ngicela ukuthi ungibikelele make ungibikelele na sister bese ekseni nga7 ufika netimpahla tami leti fresh ufike emaphoyiseni embabane sitawukhuluma further. Uyabona ukuthi ngifika kuye the following day ngilethe impahla takhe lapha emaselini lanukako embabane I saw a smiling Maseko wathi kimi kunjani sifithulele njani instead of me kubuta yena ngimlo buta nguye lo buta mina ukuthi nilele njani ngithi Maseko besingalala yini to where he said to me madam kunyele ngicela kuwe you are going to be my voice. Ngiphilile ngilayitshele prison will be lonely and this is going to be a long journey. Ngicela thwala ukuthi ungibekedelele. Ngicela ungibekedelele uphinze ube live lami uphinze ungithanze. Wangicela na 2023 silapha kule yasele embabane. Ngathi mina Maseko uke wangabada yini lithandvo lwami wathi angase but ngiyalo ngesikhathi ngidalidinga kakhulu. From that day on onge ma conversations to abethi kimi madam ya my voice prison is lonely ngiphila ngifile madam ya my voice ngiyacela carry me so
you've become uqhubeka nje lakakucela vele basically
nje iyabona ukuthi nangabe khona indvodza leke yangithanza ngekungangabadi Thulani nangabe khona indvodza lengibeketelele yangangabadi Thulani luthando lolu pure genuine and honest ngivek Maseko
but Maseko uyaboshwa Maseko ungephandle yo advocator in Africa in Europe lesikhathi nisakha kanjani ukuthi nibe ngumndeni nje ke besichamuka kuphi
ngiko ngithi uyabona ukuthi mine bantu bayakhuluma ngemadodza abo Maseko nakasekhaya you'd feel Maseko sekhaya to a point where Maseko ekseni mina I'm not a morning person Maseko bevuka 4 a.m. Maseko is up avuke Maseko 5:45 afuthume demandi avuke nga 4 uyavuka nga 5:45 uvusa mina nga 6 uvusa abafana ugeza abafana mina ngiyaayina for him and bafana 6:45 seba ready Maseko is packing tikhwama tebafana Madam usayinile everyday books ebafana everything uya-check yes ngendile Maseko uthatha abantu abakho bafaka emotweni uyobabeka ku-transport leya esikolweni uyahamba uye-office. That was Maseko. Nge-winter abeshesha abuye embabane 6 latest 6:30 ubuyile Maseko soyakapha soyabasa umlilo lomkhulu.
The lawyer, so uyivota sekhaya manje.
Sendvotsi yasekhaya lapha e-sitting room kagogo. So bekethe indishi tebafana ucala ngalo mdzalo yamgeza. Maseko was hands on. Nang late mina ngibuye ejimini socobile maveji. Yabo mangifika mina yonke into seyilula. Lo Maseko lengimatiko mina, lo sweet lengimatiko. Emasimini nge-weekend noma during the week nakede emacala usensimini Maseko. Nangabe kuhlanyelwe iklabishi kuneklabishi, nangabe kuhlanyelwe umbila kunembila. Maseko loyo mina ngimile lapha ngifaka isigcoko selanga. Khuluma Maseko usensimini nangabe kufakwa amakhabeni kufakwa amakhabeni nangabe kwentiwani sambama ukhokha timbuti. Thathe emaphepha akhe or whatever novel khokha timbuti uhlede emadvaleni netimbuti tabo.
But also lesingakukhulu lesikulibala ukuthi na community was big ngoba une team yebhola letindzaba takaMaseko utikhulumile yakusebenta. So he was not just the Maseko the lawyer, not just the Maseko the family man, but also a community person vele. Just tell us a bit about that.
Very rooted go community yakhe Maseko, very committed. Itindzaba takaMaseko tingivisa buhlungu kakhulu bakaMaseko bebeta kuye beta ngathi bede kulommeli abengakufuni ke lokho abethi madam kuthi abakaMaseko angitshele isikhathi ngicela ubalungiselele kuphekwani umshibo ushoda ngani ngicela uphekele maMaseko nabafika bakhanze kulungile bayohlala elondweni kagogo kuyokhulunywa tindzaba takaMaseko kuyadliwa. He didn't want the client bantu bakubo bantu basekhaya. Community wise noma nginini Maseko bantu bayafika la khaya bafana bakhe bebhola Africa 2010 initially waqala ku Flyers kune team lekuthiwa i-Flyers but ke team for the mabhola ne community wathi haya sengikhulume bafana labancane med passion for young men. Kuba mentorisha kuba khombisa ukuthi noma ngabe ubuye emakhaya you can still make it but be based and rooted ekhaya. Yena besuka la every day exen 6:45 aye embabane every day. So abenaloko ukuthi ungakhohlwa la ubuya khona ungadikhohlwa ukuthi ungubani. Kunebukhatikhati Maseko was exposed aya everywhere and anywhere in the world but for him there's no place like home. So Thulani be committed nakubomakhelwane kunakune issue ukhona. He was an open very open but humble bantu bebathi udvalile kani phela is very humble and very loving. So that was Maseko nakune ma games enkundleni nango Maseko bafana bebeta batokhemba la khaya sicabane ukuthi into abathini labafana labangaka labangawashe masokisi. He would say madam bantu bakho so sebagcine babantu babami nanyalo noma angekho Maseko bebeta nakuvunwa nje ngesifo saMaseko beta bavuna bafana bakhona nangifuna kucenjwe nangifuna kwendiweni la ngivele ngicele bafana guys kunak ababe ba complain bavele bathi womake sebakhona. So it's more of a relationship of Maseko abengibabo wabo. So yeah.
And then we are just speaking of air ukuthi awusatholakali. I mean not just awutholakali but you are trying to move in and out of in the country and outside. I would imagine ukuthi vele this place may be traumatic but kusekhaya at the same time. Ukhona njani lokhu adjust ukuthi this place you built it from nothing Maseko but also say while it's nice that you've built this and in Nelkhaya nebamfana but also inayo le traumatic reminder ukuthi this is the place also where I lost Maseko. So how have you been maneuvering those spaces?
It's been very difficult. I don't want to lie to you. You see ekhaya kagogo it's where we impilo yethu leningi siyiphile khona and Thulani abelithanza likhala kubo wayithanza lenzawo because ngila khona wafika wakhela makwakhe njengemfana lokhulele ekhabo makwakhe. You know he had this thing of coming back home akhele makwakhe ekhaya kubo so inhlitiyo yakhe beyila ekhaya. So I think in as much as there is that trauma, gimme, but there's that comfort and love. This is our space. They wanted to change this space. Ngekubulala Maseko bayende yesabeke. But the love that is in this space, ivala bonke lobuhlungu. You know, siyakhala siyesaba kagogo ebusuku, but emini we go, we sit there because there's beautiful memories. Likhaya lesi lithanza ngenhlitiyo yethu yonke. So in as much as the trauma is there ebusuku nje kunalawo ma flashbacks, but I think above everything else ngilolithando losustaina ukuthi sikhone kuphila la khaya.
So nomuyile nje uthi gcona esikhwahlanda uphinza ubuye ekhaya.
Yeah, uvele ekhaya kasekhaya. Maseko on his last day he said to me, nangabe bayangifuna madam nabangangikhanzi e-office but angikhanza la ku. So to him le notion
Yakubaleka
no akazange sayicabanga. At some point I was feeling mean as a wife to say, come on, dude, you're so qualified. You qualify anywhere in the world.
And exposed as well.
And exposed, yeah. But athi kimi madam, kutabe sekusala bani who's going to do the work eSwatini ekhaya ke kutabe sekwende kanjani.
Yeah.
Ndawuhamba ngibuye nje ndawuhlathika that was TRM.
But on the I mean I don't want to open healing wounds, but on the night, was there anything, sometimes intuition feels like there's something different about today, or I mean sexual on the day of the assassination, I would like to call it assassination. Was it just on a normal day that you even had plans for the next 2 minutes? So, send a logo, or it was just something that just intuition-wise, I don't know if you are getting where I'm coming.
After sekwendekile, emancoba ngilala ngibona khona ukuthi mhlambe kuMaseko kimi on that day, on that week, you know, because ngalelanga nje Maseko lo 4 wakhe wasekuseni uyavuka ngithi endebo meditation bakhe, he loved reading, so he would read then exercise. Uyangivusa funny enough on the Saturday usiyathi angitiva kahle. Ngithi no, what's wrong? Uthi angigule madam but nje le khathi kimi akuhlangani ngine sadness. Ngithi mina yini inkinga dikwelete sihleke athi ke na etikwelete timpilo but this angiva kahle. Ngithi ke mina let's pray athi ke nathandaza wena mfundisi wala khaya. So we prayed together, and then but nje he was his jolly self. But nje abeshide kuseni ukuthi akativa kahle, and then vele we had plans because bafana bebaye ebholeni eBhunya. So wa insister ke kimi ukuthi ayisithi namhla ngicela kuhamba nawe siye eMbabane. He was going to meet his accountant e-office kakhe eMbabane. Ngithi ke mina but andilo sitako akekho bafana bataka about fathi angeke madam labo yabathi kwaba nekudla, they'll be fine, but sitawuzama kusheshe sibuyi because ngifuna nekulalela speech senkosi. So I really want to be thorough and relaxed nase ngimlalela akhuluma, because he would from time to time anything lekhulunywa inkosi Mswati abefuna ukulalela, because for him it would give him a road map yekuthi kulomnyaka kubhekwe phi kwangane. So that was Thulani. Ngithi ke mina okay Maseko kuthi inkingi asihambe angidrophe bafana ebholeni ntasu yabalanza mzamo umzala lo lesihlala naye la ekhaya. Asike kuthi inkinga asihambe nje ku normal. Kunormal is jolly, but he keeps on holding my hand, my right hand, and reassuring me ukuthi uyangithanda. Which was quite strange, you know, bekangavami kwenda besihamba kanye nasihamba kanye siya discuss issues njo of the day. So but on this particular day he kept on reassuring me ukuthi sweetie ngiyakuthanda. Yathi wena phela kungibuka, yathi wena you're so amazing. Yabo, it's only now
so in retrospect
kuthi Maseko shokuthi khona bekakuva noma wangathi kuthi yini noma nithambama sesisuka la kami suka kutokhanyisa sesiyekhaya. Nasifika lapha egedeni ngithi ke mina kuye yini ngathi bekunebantu la uthi nayi bekunetimbuti madam. Nasikhuphuka sesiyekhaya kagogo uthi nangabe bayangifuna phela bathi angikhanza la khaya. Sengingathini madam, at least indaba nginebantu bangithanza. Usuku uyaswaba lapsweni ngithi bina hawuseyini athi sengiyasho phela ngoba angeke wadi madam. sibuyele ekhaya kanisho ukuthi kwase kumtshela kuye ukuthi mhlambe khona lokutowendeka ngibobani ke tikhathi lapho after 7 nasibuyele ekhaya sisuka kutokhanyisa landas kam lokusesihlala ke
Nhlala koja ine intention yokulela speech yena.
yes unayo le intention because nasifika ekhaya kagogo uthi kimi madam asengithathe I tablet yakhe necingo lakhe uthi ngifuna hotspot asengiye study uphindze uyabuya e-study kagogo uthi hayi le connection ayikho kahle angiva kahle kani umfana ngosenhle utothi hayi daddy phela khumbula kuyabulawana namhla ngithi ke mina kwendekani uthi hayi kudlala iSundowns neChiefs.
Oh, okay.
My eldest son ngosenhle isupporter lenkulu yeMamelodi Sundowns Maseko ke ngeke umkhweshise kuChiefs.
Okay.
So asi Maseko hayi
Hlakaniphe
kahle asilale ke vele kuyabulawana. So mina naMaseko besithanza he loved whiskey, I loved gin. So besiningi eshengana ye whiskey athi okay madam asive relaxa asihambeni siyokudla as a family besithandzana sisobang 4 siye sonke kitchen.
Okay.
Mina nebafana wa dishing out whatever daddy went ema drinks.
Yeah.
Sitosuka sonke kitchen sibuye sihlale phasi sitting room and share whatever. So sabuya sahlala we ate uphinzwe wasukuma Maseko wa kitchen bafana wanted more juice. Sesiyabuya ke nakahledi ke tablet yakhe iyadlala iChiefs ne Sundowns mina ngihleti ngiyabona efasteni kwakushisa shisa kakhulu ngifake nje lihiya Maseko uhleti akaboni yena efastelweni ubuke ku TV
Okay.
yabo ukuphethe tablet yakhe nelicingo lo mfana lomdzala uhleti phansi kimi lo lomncane is ulele between me and Maseko but the distance is not far off sihleti ku couching. Angathi bebabangani nangosenhle noma kwakune foul noma kwakunani so ngosenhle uthi uthatha iremote kubaba wakhe ufuna ku rewind yabo lemve ma PVR ukuthi bato discussa lokho nakathi nje uhlala phansi mina ngibona isithundi sithi yele nangithi ngithathi ngisafuna kubukisisa ngibona umuntu a male aphethe sibhamu akhombe Maseko nangifuna ukuthi ngibuke Maseko kutothi ngisafuna nje ukuthi sweetie nive nje kuqhuma ngithi ngiyambuka Maseko ngimkhanza Maseko so uhliphikile yabona kwathi kuyaqhuma ngambona nje athi ngibona Maseko nje athula nangisukuma ngithi ngiyakuye angivanga ke lelenye ngoba ngambona nje asalele phansi ukuthi wamshayela ngayibona la mshayela inhloko ngiyibonanga lela mshaya yona la enhlidweni ngathi nangisathi ngisaya kuMaseko ngambona ngathi ngimbamba nje isandla ngamkhanza banza lo mncane sombambe la sengiyamemeda ke manje sengisangene nangithi ngefastelweni nangumuntu ngifastelo ngizama kulivula sengiyaphenika yabona mangicoba sengiyaphenika alisavuleki lele linye ngiyaphuma ngithi ngiphoseke eminyango nangithi ngiphoseke eminyango nanguye umuntu uyazwiba kufenisi sokuwelela kamakhelwane
So nakhona ukuthi kuhlangane imehlo eni nobabili.
Ahlangane emehlo ethu yabo ukuthi but abefuna kumeba ngoba ngalesikhathi ngithi sengiyambona ngibona ukuthi uphethe sibhamu I think I was too late yena bese kakwende konke wavele wayekela Maseko wathula instantly ngalelela inhloko ngoba yamshaya yaphuma yayoshaya iTV wathula lapho lana nje ngicantsa besamcedzela afuna kubasho lo mdzala umfana wahlala nje wathula khona lapho lo mncane wazama kumbamba baba wakhe ingqondo nangilapha evrand kagogo seyiyabuya ukuthi ngishiye abantwana sengiyamemeta lapho sengibuta wonke umuntu lokhona bomakhelwane bambonge bomhlandi bojabulani wonke umuntu sengiyamemeta Maseko sowuthulile akashongo lutho akabonanga lutho waMaseko angathi manqoba
So lo muntu uyabaleka nakasuka la noma
abengabaleki wahamba nje kahle kodwa bengimuntu ohamba kakhulu ngoba ngathi mina sengiyofika lapha evrand vele abesangumuntu lo lapha ekufenisi kanti lo fenisi walakha vela ngithi so akusifenisi lokucinile vele yena sokugabathela ukuthi sowelela ngakamsimango
ukuthi uyogibela imoto noma eqhubeka ngetinyawo.
Angatanga ke ngoba vele ngangisangene sengimemeta yabo ukuthi nalabantwana ngathi kusithini bomakhelwane base baya responda base baya responda shembo makhelwane Yeah, lengakubona lelo langa,
It will never get out of your
lengakubona
hand.
lelo langa. Angati labantwana na inkinga yami nyalo ukuthi ngabe kulabantwana ngoba wangibona mina wababona abantwana wabona ukuthi kukahle ukuthi achubeka abulale Maseko
Embi kwebaba
embi
bakhe.
kwebantwana. So I think leso sithombe kimi asiyuphela kepha ke leso sithombe sithi waMaseko bamsabe baze bambulala endlini ngoba Maseko kudabe kwesaba nakanenkinga be ende emaphepha hamba enkantolo ayothi kunje bambophisa kwesilwane angakendi lutho for iqiniso lakhe ubehlule such that baze babona ukuthi ingcono bambulale.
Nawubuka ube bungake by any chance in the future nhlanganele lemehlo ungakhona ukumkhumbula lo muntu noma ngiyathi wekosebusuku
Ngiyesaba lokuphendula lo mbuto wakho loyo for security reasons ngoba wena manqoba ngiyayithi angimati noma uyabuya tophinza qale mina ukuthi mina mhlamba ngangibulala kanjani angimati noma uyabuya agidze lapha ethuneni laMaseko ajabule ukuthi ya yena uyihero ukwendile konke kwabakahle. So for security reasons ngicela kungawuphenduli
nalokuthi ungete wati lokuthi utawuthi lo muntu uyangibona kazi
uyangibona afuna phinze
sale eliminate le weakness. That's true.
So
That's
for security reasons ngicela kungakuphenduli lo.
But what ngale bantwana mani nangabe you feel this emotional, have you taken them for counseling or just to deal with it ngoba I cannot even imagine. And lo mdzalo waya kuye yabona umfana ngicabanga ukuthi the instinct should have been to run away but he went to baba wakhe.
Bantu bam nami ngiyatibuta bayakhala sometimes they are doing counseling, vigorous counseling, and lese kungijabulisa nyalo because before nje I think 2-3 months after baba wabo bebangakhali bebangakhombisi any emotion but lokhu sesicalele counseling they show emotion nabamkhumbula baba wabo lo mdzala noma comes khaklisha thi namhla mami daddy noma lo lokuncane sekuta nesithombe sababa wako sekuyakhala. So for me I think
They must take out the emotions.
Yes, loku khokha lama emotions kuyang reliever and from time to time we talk about daddy. So sengiyabona ukuthi le conversation nga daddy seyikhona seyibuyile to say nangipheke amabhontshisi mami mayamnanzi amabhontshisi daddy used to love amabhontshisi azakhotha indish. You know, so the good things about daddy make it's month end daddy would make it a point ukuthi kiwe you know. Make makhokho you know. Tikipa tabo Liverpool this and that, so I try lo daddy abekwenda ngingakupholoti but it's not easy for me and the boys. Thulani was a present father babe lothi Maseko ngosi yami sengilate sesitawudle masa sikudinga ngamedem ngidawuve ngibeka liphuthu you know.
That's true.
So kubantu he was so many things but githi bekukakhulu
but let's assume now from a criminal perspective sisi njena mabomu this was just a random criminal bekatowe batimbute baleni but how long and how thorough were the police in terms of collecting evidence and ensuring the crime scene is properly taken care of and even subsequently ukuthi nangabe sithi si assume tigebengu njengoba uhulumende asho how is the feedback sesilapha manje ngema investigation nakulo sekukhona and all of that.
Mangoba we're doing this interview ngo February ngiyabona thing 4 ku 2024 Maseko bambulala 21 January 2023 nabamdubula Maseko siyawashayela emaphoyisa aya respond emaphoyisa alabunya I think I respond an hour afterwards bomakhelwane sebakhona dihlobo setikhona letithudane i-conduct yemaphoyisa asebhunya I'll give them the benefit of the doubt they seemed shocked to which I was not satisfied of course because I did raise to them lokho ukuthi I feel ngabe kumount ama roadblocks because nginale feeling yekuthi labantu ba well within olomuntu, which they didn't do. That's number one. But number two, conduct lengayithola kulaba ka forensic lo beka leader I forensic lo chamuka kamanzini was not a very nice one. Body language yabo, they came with an attitude ukuthi bona batosebenda la. And then to which I said to the other one, lo beka angisamkhumbuli kahle but kuthi abewaka bani but ngabhala phasi lengimkhumbula ngilo forensic photographer abewaka Malinzis. That one seemed calm, but lobeka leader le team was very very rough, to say ngoba Maseko bambulalele sofeni, so wase sothaka bekwe phasi bathatha leto dithombe and then lokangazange futhi kungicertify in terms of conduct yamaphoyisa sebatsheliwe ngemaphoyisa aseBhunya ukuthi Maseko ufile, so abedi nemoto le layisha umuntu losafile ngoba vele beda sebatsheliwe ukuthi he is cold, yabona. Kwagcina Maseko alayishwa ngemoto yaseBhunya emaphoyiseni, sahamba sayomcertify eMankayane, samthatha sammikisa la bekabekwe khona ke. That is number one. Kulobo busuku ke one Mavuso who was from the Bhunya police station lebenguye a leader, he questioned me wangibuta namakhelwane lo afika. Yeah, and then following morning, mina phela ngithi kuba kaMaseko nabo sikole ngicela ningathinzi lutho ngoba kwendeke ebusuku mhlambe emaphoyisa satawubuya. Ayabuya vele on the Sunday emaphoyisa, but sekubuya kuta one landlovu Mrs Dlamini sotokhuluma nami nje eceleni to get my statement ukuthi ngabonani ngakhumbulani ukuthi ivalwe off le yandlu yakagogo ukuthi kuthiwe crime scene, they didn't do that. Kuthi kuthiwe no siyabuya sithatha ama fingerprints sendani. They didn't do that. Ngikusho lokho because sengibukela kakhulu this crime thing, because I really want to establish ukuthi kwendekani, and I'm reading a lot of books in terms of how to handle this, how to do this. Yabona nje sengiya buka ukuthi khona lokungahambanga kahle. That is number two. So emaphoyisa mina ngiwagcina ke ngaleli sondvo sekete la kami ukuthi babuyele ekhaya. Cha ababuyeli, sengithola ke licingo le seliqhamuka phinze futhi emaphoyisa naseBhunya sebathi case yaMaseko ayisekho kubo, sebayisa kalikhozi kamanzini. Okay, fine. I think kuthule kulelo viki kube bede emaphoyisa solo ngagcina mina ngaleli sondvo Maseko bambulele ngamgcibelo. Kube bede emaphoyisa kede emaphoyisa sifisa ngcwaba Maseko maphoyisa kede siyamngcwaba Maseko on a Sunday. On the Tuesday, I get a call from one Junior Dlamini local khosi athi kimi utawucela ukuthi ngimlekelele ngimside ngema-gadgets onke aMaseko, to which I responded to say bawafunela nema-gadgets aMaseko because Maseko is the victim here, bona they must be investigating. Athule anga-respondi kuloko athi nje batawucela ema-gadgets. Anyway kuthule nya I think it was a Tuesday kuphele liviki. Following week ngishayelwe amaphoyisa ala eBhunya athi acela kutongibona ekhaya. Ngithi no, it's fine bangeda. Nabafika ekhaya bathi kimi umthetho uthi nangabe babe mhlambe abene spam noma ini funa ngishande over, to which I answered to them ngathi number one, ebe Maseko bekane spam ngabe bekasithelela ngabe benade. Number two, Maseko never owned a gun. The only thing that lengwatiko in my possessions are books. The only thing Maseko lebekanayo are books, whether nidalakha noma niya e-office. Bathula. Angithi now when nangabe bekune crime, you're supposed to get a copy of your statement. Bangangilethele statements ngithule ngithi nya ngiyebhunya amaphoyisa ukuthi statement sami angikakanginiki. Bathi ke bona olifile selihambile selikalikhozi, which then means mina sekufuna ngikhulume namanzini, which is fine. Ngisehlede endlini ngihlale. Nangiphuma endlini, first thing I do, I drive myself ngiye kaLkhozi. Nangifika kaLkhozi, the hostility that I got from the police was not nice. But ngathi no, it's okay. It's a state police, and that would have been expected. Ngangasho ngathi ngidocela statement sami. I think a statement sami, I think kwaphela emalanganyana ngase ngitfola licingo lekuthi sesikhona ucela ngesilanze ngamba ngasilanze ebhunye emaphoyiseni ngasuthi ngasilanza sesikhona the copy. So Thulani Maseko ngizilile, I think that was February, March, aphele. Ngimshayele investigating officer lo Junior Dlamini. Ngithi Nkosi anything athi kusede make. Thule. May, June ngimshayele. Nkosi kukhona yini? Hayi kusede make. August. Lo wangivisa abhlungu kakhulu, my eldest son ngoSenhle angithi sekwabanele amaphepha aku
online.
Online. So I think abone something ukuthi there is progress on investigation on Thulani's killing. Achamke umama akhala hysterical. Mommy, you are not telling us you have information on Daddy. He was crying. Very upset. Yabona ukuthi asangibamba. Mommy, when you should tell us, you should update us. Ngamhlalisa phasi ngathi Maseko, I've been telling you good lengwatiko. The police are not saying anything. Ngasukuma. I was upset as well. Ngahlala nefamily. My sister was there. My helper was there. Ngathatha licingo ngamshayela lo Junior. I was very, very upset. It was in August. Ngathi Nkosi sibone i-article la. Lethini ne progress, but thina si next of kin and is updating alutho.
Exactly.
To which he has a very funny, sarcastic way of kungiphendvula to say ye mage Maseko, like bluntly like that. Loyo muntu lo bhalele yo article mina angimati. Ngithi ke mina yathi kuthini Nkosi yini ngingasuki la khaya ngite lapho emaphoyiseni sitoyikhulumisa lenza. Give me an appointment, tell me something, you know.
Yes.
Maseko bambulele mbikwami nebantwana Nkosi. These children want answers. I need answers as well. He was very blunt and very sarcastic to say, "Oh, ye mage stakubita emake but nje." Ngithi mina enlana kubhale PRO wemaphoyisa wathi kune progress, and I assume and I think I have a right to know.
Course,
I have a right to know ukuthi invoice yami kwendeke ndliwe yini. Idliwe yini? Akazange ke angiphendula. Kunginamhla ngikhuluma nawe thing for ku February. Hulumende ubhale so many things about me through spokesperson. I see now and Deputy Prime Minister lokungumake Lidladla wenda statement as Foreign Affairs Minister about investigation yamaseko to say emaphoyisa endumsebenzi. Lawo maphoyisa labakhuluma ngawo mina kang update, which means funa update emaswati thine angas update. That is the conduct that I am getting, and loku buhlungu ngeconduct ya hulumende ibhlungu kakhulu because they should be embracing me as a widow and seeking for accountability for Thulani's death.
In fact, they should be leading and so thorough to absolve themselves in your eyes and in the world's eyes. But if Baba very cold ganjena, you are right to have questions now.
Yeah,
why is it not dragging endleleni yangakhona?
Mancoba, I have very serious questions ngeconduct ya hulumende wakangwane, ngeconduct yebantfu labasebentela hulumende ngemaphoyisa. And kubhlungu mancoba ukuthi kufanele ukuthi wena uLswati ungakhulumi. I mean, mancoba, if we trace back to 21 January 2023, 2:30, His Majesty King Mswati uchitha emabutho. That speech that he made, he was very clear. Inkosi mina bengihlale ngalalele ma speech ayo ngitshela nje ukuthi you know, and Maseko was saying to me time and time again, you must listen to this man. Akamani nje akhulume afade. He knows what he's saying, and lakushogo he does it. On that day he said it. He said it. Manje mina lokubese kungivisa abhlungu emancoba. Kube ngathi mina efuna lengingathuli ngoba mina ngide emaphoyisa la tangivukela, ngide emasotsha la tangivukela, ngide tibhamu, ngide imali. Fanele ngingasho mina ukuthi hayi phela. Inkosi yakhuluma. Yasho yathi I have people to deal with you ngidathi nase nginisebenza silalele usilalela kuqala usilalela gcina ngidase ngithi nase nginisebenza ningabo bese niyakhala.
And quite coincidentally ke noma
7 hours.
ngabe it was figurative, it's few hours later such a high profile assassination, and you cannot afford not to have questions.
Kufanele ukuthi
Or
ngoba
make
mina
connection.
ngingumuntu katana ngingenalutho ngiyimvo nje ngingumfelo kade nje emancoba Thulani tinkhundla timhlukubetile. If there's one person lohlukubetwe tinkhundla i-system of governance yala kangwane Maseko, but nalapho he persevered. Wangathuka umuntu wangahlamba umuntu wayenkantolo lilanga lishisa libalele wathi kunje let's sit and let's talk. Namuhla mina ufuna ngingabudi.
And also it's just interesting you show lo uthi ulumende wena you tempered with evidence kodwa uthi wena you waited this long for them to come and do whatever that they wanted to do.
Yes, bamkhanza Maseko akuleso state. Lokho ngivisa abhlungu ngenkulumo oyababe Alpheus Nxumalo. Kusho ukuthi yena kukhona la kwadiko lebekufuneka kube khona lapha crime scene mina lengingakwadi. Kusho ukuthi naye yabe khona. Ngoba nakathi ngitemperishile, usho ukuthi yena kukhona la kwadiko mina lengingakwadi. Ngiko ke lengubhekako ukuthi uhulumende mhlawumbe utawuphendula.
And where would you be getting that information
Exactly.
from? So ukuthi uthola amaphoyiseni
Yeah,
or
sho
somewhere
ukuthi yena
else.
uyakhuluma namaphoyisa or somewhere else. Ngoba mina lapha kwakungimi kungosenhle kungonsivile kungumaseko nemuntu lo wabulala Maseko 5 webantu. So ngiko ngithi ngiyadzinga ukuthi uhulumende athi clarify because there was that statement by the king number 1 nga February or number 2 nga February the so called anopiner lokungiyena lo Englisha le security company he says it's live, it's there ku London Times uthi hayi thina vele sitosebenza sitodila nema terrorist. He says that in February Maseko udutshuliwe ngaJanuary. Inkosi iphindze futhi nayenda statement sayo yenda umthandazo ithi let's silence the guns. Ngibuta ke mina ukuthi which are the guns that were silencing? Nasekudutshuliwe Maseko sethine now we must silence the guns. I think Mancoba we need to be thorough and honest. And sibuke ukuthi kusukela kubulewe Thulani wendekani lo 2023. I did that. So ngiko ngithi ngiyacela ukuthi mina angisakhathali noma ngingabitwa ngawaphi emagama. Lo wabulala Thulani nangabe usengafa abakambulali nangabe uyaphila. Ngiyamcela nembeza wakhe la labeka sebenza naye ngiyabacela ngiyabathandazela onke lamalanga ukuthi babuyele lapha ekhaya bayositshela ukuthi Maseko abobone ngani kangaka ukuthi bangambulala ngesibhuku yini lebeyihlula ukuthi bakhulume. Number 3 batholeni ke ngekubulala Maseko.
But umhlaba has called for an independent investigation, an impartial investigation. I mean, it's been a year now. So lokude lokukhona la kukhulumele uhulumende ngokuthi ke okay nabamvula abaqhamuka kumhlabuhlangene o mhlawumbe noma abasesomhlabuhlangene somewhere else ke to do this investigation ngoba clearly amaphoyisa if they are saying there's no progress maybe they need help, maybe they need other technical expertise they don't have.
Ngiko ngithi wena it's very funny wena Mancoba ukuthi a year after they've been making big breakthroughs in other murders, but this particular one there has been nothing. So angati lokuthi iMaseko uthatheka kanjani, angati lokuthi siba ngaMaseko sithatheka kanjani, but I always find comfort Maseko abehlale athi lokwendeka ebumnyameni madam kuyohlale kuvela. Ngisho bambopha Maseko bambopha 2014 2015 sabona abantu sebakhuluma, sabona abantu baqoshwa, abantu bahanjiswa labe ba involved ekubopheni boMaseko. So clearly this system nginako kimi ukuthi someone will come, someone will talk. Maseko lalala yakhona naye ngiyati ukuthi uyalwa. So nginako ukuthi uyawuvela. Bangahlekisa ngami, bangahlekisa ngemsebenzi waMaseko bawucekele phasi, bangakwenda konke. inkululeko yemaswati idvudane noma ungaba netibhamu letingakanani nase sifikile isikhathi sitawufika and ingadi yamaseko nginako lokuthi iyanisela bangakhuluma bathini sebendile wamaseko watimisela ngekutikhandla solo asho athi emaswati yan for freedom so nanyalo nginake ukuthi bangakwenda konke bakwendile konke kwaba bhlungu kwabanjani but iqiniso liyawuphuma
lo munye ke lo hlete esihlulweni sahulumende uthi hayi ngeke phela make Maseko siyakuvumela ubhlungu kodwa kusho nini lenilwisathini nikhombana nodwa nethi hayi ngindiya kube ngilona singenapi thini. I just want you to have a comment around that.
My comment would be that I think people abafuni kulalela bacondzisise. You know, in the mass democratic movement, there are always robust arguments. But in mass democratic movement, idele capacity, number one. Yekwenda naklo kwendiwa kuMaseko. Number two, nangabe phela lokuhleti kuhulumende athi hayi phela make Maseko nila not fana but ihlenge because they have the capacity.
In fact, it's to their advantage.
It's their advantage to say,
yeah. No, sesikhrekhile case.
Bona abakreke icase yaMaseko. So lokuthi idrege, it says to me, nabo they equally know what happened to Maseko. But ihlenga ngangani?
I mean, we were just talking with my colleague kutalana kwekuthi it's funny ukuthi uhulumende ukhonile kwakreka lama cases lamanye kodwa lena yokushona kwaThulani Maseko abayikrek ikushona kwaMema akayikrek kushiselwa kwaMlungisi Makhanya abakayikrek yabona tonke nje letimpo letingazuthi tingale khona nani. I was just making the
Mancoba, that is a proper analysis. Siyacabana na Maseko 2021 when he was going about helping the victims of the massacre. Ungikhanza ngihledi esofeni nginathalithi yalami ngirelaxile. He was so upset with me. Wathi emede uhledi bantu bafile. You are happy, you are okay. Awunindzaba ungenelani. And I responded to say, but Maseko mosila bantu mina ngibati wathi udzinga kumati umuntu futhi ngakulati liswati kuze uliside. Change your thinking mede mshinja kucabanga kwakho. Mina nangiboshiwe ngolo uhamba ukhongotha mhlaba wonke asho nje. Wathi uhamba ukhongotha mhlaba wonke ukuthi justice for Thulani bantu sebabulewe so uhledi wena.
So basically thola kusengaza kumthwalo wakhe lokwendeke kulamaswati.
Kwakungumthwalo wakhe ngiyakhumbula ngize ngithi kuye Maseko uyaye udle yini. Wathi madam sikuphi isikhathi sekudla tinkundla tibulele abantu. Sikuphi? I would pack food for him abuye nakangakakudla. Ngaze ngathi Maseko kutafuna ukuthi ngikwendele smoothie something lo tayinatha ekseni and then I tried to get him supplements so that at least abe nale energy. He was so livid. 2021 abengalali ebusuku he would get calls sekudutshule bani ngalo mahasha naba sebacoshwa masoja nakuse kunjani he would leave the house. Ngilapho la ngaqala kusaba khona ngathi Maseko athi madam nangaba ngabuyi thatha mzamo trace my steps.
But also that is interesting man lokukhuluma kanjena ncisi nje ukuhlaba lwimi engcamani because even after Thulani akubone first hand bekushayelwa yena he never even once spoke about violence. He always preached dialogue and peace. And ngithi nangabe besimnyanya Thulani besingambulala thine lesilwa naye, what would be the reason ngoba he was a unifying person in the democratic camp.
Yabona Mancoba Maseko ungivise ebhlungu mabathi Maseko man of peace I know it. Abe athi ki madam yini le yenda ukuthi singakhulumisani singahlali phansi sikhulume mina nawe. So what he was preaching he was practicing even landlini. Maseko besithi singavumelani sihlale phansi athi madam angithelele idrink yami athi konakale kuphi. Ngikhulume asinale ndlela lokhuluma ngayisiyo. Ndakuva njani mina nawe nelehabiya ukhulume ledulu asikhulume ukuthi Maseko la nala awumphathi kahle ngicabanga ukuthi wende naye waze wangifundisa ngisho indlela yekukhuluma nje naye so nakwendeka 2021 wababhlungu kakhulu He was making calls to even people in the government space to say, can't you see live eliyasha nithuleleni? Kuye kwaba ngumthwalo lomkhulu waze wathi madam, this is the time. This is the time. Nangabe hulumende anjana angangithanzi mina akafuneke mediators from outside of the country. SADC has mediators. Why kube likhuni kuhlala phasi sikhulume ngani? Yini le lesenda ukuthi singakhulumisani? Even ku MDM he was clear Maseko ukuthi mina ngiva nalokuthi sibangani madam because it is not yet uhuru. That was the language. So I ngiva buhlungu kakhulu ukuthi umuntu le hulumende abengamlalela Maseko. Maseko, he was a good listener, mind you. Abengilalela Maseko ngisho uhema. Mina ngise ngithi Maseko abelalela wonke umuntu. From everyone, from your CEOs to grassroots. Bomake basemarket bebamthanza beya. Ayothenga amasaka, ayothenga amafruits ahlala ukhanzo sodla orange sohlet nabo. Confessing, wanting to know ukuthi baphila njani, basebenza njani. Bomagawula esimunye asuke la Big Bend athatha imoto athi ngisayohlola tingwenya. Hlale nabo phasi they would discuss. Khanzo kusilongiyesa bayamsida. Naye. Very open-minded someone.
But isesingenda njani make Maseko ngoba isikhala sathulani sivelile kakhulu ku democratic movement. Unele nje kusuka Thulani ngoba lebe ngikubona mina ukuthi bokuthi noma ngabe unhlangano A onhlangano B noma ngabe siyalo kakhulu but nase kuna Maseko besithi singamlalela sobabili thina noma ngabe lona but singamlalela but wena ngengulalela but usho lo Maseko asho the same thing lo isho sengayilalela. That space has opened up and nyalo sokuliwa even within the Democrat. I don't know, you don't have all the answers, you probably would not even, it's unfair to ask you, but how does it feel to you to see the cause Thulani Maseko bekayilwele kangaka sengazuthi seyicala kucangana nje kwana nayo?
Ngiyakhala mancoba. Ngiyakhala nangibona kuniphitwana kubo social media sometimes ngihla ngingangeni. Ngikhale my sister lengihlala naye I can tell you ngithi koja Maseko angeke kube kuthi bekunguwe wedwa baphila abanye akuvelela abanye boMaseko ngiyayingithandaza ngithi Nkosi ngekufa kwaMaseko veda show us many more Thulanis. Why is it that sekuhambe Maseko sekungathi bekunguye kancha? Why singakutholi? That's why every day my prayer mancoba kuba ukuthi asikuthole in us the calmness yaMaseko, asikuthole in us the honesty yaMaseko ukuthi mhlamba sivumelani mancoba but asinganyanyani asihlaleni phasi sibone ukuthi nguphi la sihlukana khona. Maseko would sit with Jan Sithole. I remember they had a conversation, Comrade JJ Asaya e Parliament. They had a candid conversation. They differed. But azange banyanyana.
Nangalendlela they differed bebangabe sebayothrow everything on then. It's the way the conversation.
It's the way, it's the manner in which the approach that Thulani would do things. I mean, namlungisi abethi bhuti kuMaseko kimi uthi sis. They would talk when uve ukuthi sekuyashisa nya. But ngeke uve kusasa ukuthi boMaseko namlungisi bayanyanyana sebanekene ku social media. Following day bova say tafuna ngiyohlala phasi nemnethu man sibone lana la same thing na makawukawu Maseko bekahlala nababe na Skoni, I call him Skoni, abekhala na Skoni bakhulume serious conversation uve ukuthi labantu abavumelani but following day so yashaya umnguni hey emnethu lapha. You see the camaraderie because the beauty of democracy is diversity. Ngiko lele ngingak-understand mina ukuthi la ku MDM sasibangana. Nangabe bona abantu babona ukuthi indlela yethu abafikisa ngile. Let's embrace. Stawuhlangana because invole sifuna ukuthi neyinye inkululeko. So why are we fighting ngale strategy?
Noma ngabe futhi ke siyalwa ngokustratha sivumelani sikwendela lembi kwebantu phela uma ucabana naMaseko wena ngeke bese nishayana le dolobheni ePasreng ngibuye ningafana nishayane la khathe endlini.
Exactly.
La lembi kwebantu.
So ngiyo lenvole ngivisa buhlungu ngemass democratic movement yala khaya ukuthi we need to get to a point of maturity. Number 1, discipline. Number 2, embracing each other. Number 3, to say you may have a different view. I have my own view. But let me embrace and understand you lapho. And let me allow you to explore the strategy sakho without me judging. Because who am I to judge?
Yes.
You know, we tend to want to use similar strategies, and yet we all have a different role to
In fact
play.
ngikusikhola phela ku-mighty party ngoba utawucabanga indlela yakho nawe
Exactly.
ubhekele party sihamba ndzawonye.
Exactly.
Uhambela ngale but you are in the same path.
I mean ngicela ukubekisela indlela le yembabane lesuka la eBhunya diningi indlela ongathi sebenzisa nawo
Yes.
yembabane ungaphuma ngasemhlamba nyathi it's your choice ungaphuma ngakumahlanya it's your choice why ke mine ngikuphocelele ukuthi mancoba hayi ngoba le yami yase lephuma kumahlanya ingiyo sekufuna ngiba no the beauty of multi party ngiko kona lokho diversity so I think we have to learn as comrades as colleagues to embrace each other and to be honest and candid with one another ukuthi adikuthini emancoba lana mina ngibone kahle ngibone let's embrace each other sifunze futhi nekubeketelelana because lenye info lengibona ngathi isibulele struggle sethu is ukuthi lo munye uthi mina kade ngafika mina ngimdzala ha wena uka grade 2 wena uka grade 1 we need each other
Yes.
lo ka grade 1 khala tawutshela kona lo ka grade 7
La grade 7 akafunza ka grade 1. Une experience le different la kato enhance ayano.
So we need to just try to navigate this space with patience and tolerance and serious tolerance to say siyatsingana at the end of the day Maseko abengeke Maseko if bekude Sibusiso Nhlabathi if bekude Bands Dlamini if bekude Mlungisi Makhanya if so bekungeke nje kube ngithulani nje Thulani was there because there were these different players to say ukubona kanjani lo Maseko akubona there were lawyers you know there were different organizations labambonile ukuthi okay Maseko uyasebenza asim embrace asim encourage bekunabo sal klabe bamsida with litigation so it can't be that nje Maseko so feel sebambulele Maseko sesiyahlala ke akuvuke lobu Maseko la yikithi
in all of us.
Yeah.
But also Ngamane, there is something interesting. I mean, yangathi ukuthi is a fair observation. It seems that the world has taken more the issue of Thulani Maseko and justice more than we in mhlawumbe kulokuthi kuyaliwa yini but I see more South Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, the world basically saying must never forget the issue of Thulani, consistently putting it on the sentences. But it's in like it's not the same, man. I don't know.
emaswati ngiyawacolela ngiwavele ngiphinze ngingawacoleli ngathi ngiyangicolela because le ndlela Thulani labulawa ngayo the fear is there number 1 le ndlela tinkhundla leseti escalate ngayo in terms of monitoring clamping down on political activists human rights defenders vele uluswati la khaya udathi batangibulala njengamaseko angisicwacele kwathiwa mina ngifuni ukuboshela lide njengamaseko ndathi ithulela nje bathi labatiko la kangwane bantu bathi kubindva kubona emaswati have used that approach to say ngiyabona mos ukuthi kude imithi etibhedlela but ngidawukhuluma it's either bayangibopha noma bayangibulela sebatawuthi ngilivukela mbuso you know so la kangwanele le ndlela tinfo letendeka ngayo vele emaswati ayesaba utibuteke ukuthi usaba lenguleko losu uyayifuna utayitfolelwa ngibani sengibonile Maseko bambopha sengibonile Maseko bambulala sengidawuvele ngihlale.
In fact, mean ukuthi bambulelide ngaphela whatever he stood for kufe naye.
Nginenkinga I have a serious problem mina nje ngingitanele zikhona Thwala Maseko yekuthi ngimbonile Maseko asebenza in all honesty and honestly sengidawuhlala ke ngithule ngithi Maseko lala kwendile ke I have to talk about Maseko everywhere and anywhere to say he is a man who stood for justice, who believed in the rule of law, who believed in open, honest dialogue, killed just like that. It is upon me. Nangabela abanye babona ukuthi I'm going around looking for money. Kubafanele bona. Mina ngiyati ukuthi mina na Maseko saba nezivumelwano.
But ngiphi le mali lenga replace a whole human being with a history. In fact, noma ngakupha 50 million nyalo ngithi khohlwa ngathulana I'm sure it can never happen.
Utangisita kulo 50 million nginaba abantwana laba tawuthi kusasa make wena wathula babe bambulele wathula Maseko wangicela mina eMancoba wathi madam keep this promise of speaking about me noma ngiphila noma ngifile you talk about me he said to me you know prison is very lonely madam wena wadu sengase why it's four corners uhlonipha sikwele sakho ngicela ke mina ngilapho kuleso sikwele ukhulume ngami shumayele ngami so to me I have to keep that promise and Maseko was not selfish Mancoba it was never about him abethi madam nangabe kufuna kube ngimi lemvu yemhlatshelo ukuze kukhuleke lamaswati let it be ngimbalisele ngithi Maseko ufundzile hamba ufuna umsebenzi applya athi ngiyakuva madam wena uticabangela wena ngoba wena ukahle lolo ngakhona ikhuluma utawukhulunyelwa ngibani lolo imali leke yenkantolo utawendelwa ngibani nasengekho mina sengithethe wena nebantwana siyahamba siyophila kangcono it was never he was a selfless uyabona nyalo ngeke ngisinangicabanga ngithi yathi mystery yathi Maseko ngikhona ngimbona nyalo ukuthi lo muntu kwakungasiye ngaye futhi abefuna ukuthi wena ube ngcono if I can make Mancoba if I can make bantu basemacetsheni bomthuso nje boba bemthuso sinesikwelede lesikhulu bambulala nje uthi madam tafuna ukuthi ngingathola imali sihambe siyovusela abantu abadala sikhohliwe indzaba yasemacetsheni sibakhohliwe abantu bakagodloza sibakhohliwe abantu bakashali sihamba nebantu ba2021 njani nje singabuke emuva
ishibinze le
singabuki abantu bakamafucula I mean basevuvulane sithulile sesikhuluma nga2021 as if tinkundla ticale kusikhombisa kade taqala tinkundla that was Maseko lokho ngivisa ubhlungu ukuthi we had that conversation mhla ka1 athi kimi ngangithola imali madam asetha imoto sihamba nawe nebafana ngifuna bayobabona labantu labadzala sengive ukuthi impilo injani madam sehla siyenyuka nje sesibakhohliwe labantu labadzala bayambulala Thulani ngibhlungu ngabo babe emthuso because thina engathi si MDM si reactionary siyapuputela nje sasikhohliwe ukuthi emuva sichamukapi sikhohliwe ukuthi isacrifice yabo babe Mario sikhohliwe sikhuluma ngamaseko nje Maseko wa 2023 simkhohliwe babe Mari simkhohliwe babe Jani simkhohliwe babe Ncongwane
babe Musa
Hlophe sesikhohliwe ukuthi sifika lana si civil society sifika lana nje sidibita ukuthi si MDM akuzange nje kwendeka akuzange kwaba imagic so we need to go back and be thorough in documenting in telling our Swazi struggle and story ukuthi sifike njani 2021 sibuya sifike njani 2023 Thulani so I think kunengi kunalokulo lesikwendako kunalokubitana ngemagama lesikwendako asesitibuke ukuthi ngingimancoba ngendeni ngifike lana nje ngavuma ngathi umzabalazo wemaswati ngawulwela ngibukile yini emuva ngiyabakhumbula yini bakumacetsheni kuthi banjani you see you need to self introspect umuntu
njengemzalwane are you happy with the church in the role it has played
like I'm saying Mancoba ngiyabavela ngiphinze ngingabaveli and listen ngidawuthi ngiliveli because nasekuhluleke konke uNkulunkulu vela lithemba kuko konke the church is supposed to say siyanthanda simenani ngoba kunelivi lelithi uNkulunkulu uhlale ahleze analabo laba tinhlitiyo tabo tiphukile tikhathatekile but asikaliboni lisonvo la kangwane lenda lokho lisonvo la kangwane limelathi hambanini yelikhethweni lisonvo la kangwane angikaliboni mina lihamba liya kalomahasha lithi kubulewe bani ngalomahasha sikhona silisonvo angikaliboni mina lisonvo lihamba nebantu bakalihleko bamucwata indzawo lathi sikhona silisonvo lisonvo likasithuthuthi but ke
ngoba noma lingethi lasinenda anything the spiritual
lendvuthuto mina ngakutshela emasonvo lengithi noma sekuhluleke konke ngiyade emaLuthera tabakhona ngiyade emaRoma tabakhona ngiyade emawesela tawuvela esikhaleni lapho noma sekuthiwa sebayangibulala ngamani ngigijime ngitilahle ekhathe sonve neRoma ngiyade ukuthi utawuqhamuka umfundisi waseRoma noma ngingasele eRoma but they will stand ngiyade utawuqhamuka umfundisi waseLuthera athi wende njani nifunani ngiyathi utawuqhamuka loyo lomncane noma indvodzana noma ngibani wasewesele ahlole ngaloto decolours nginawe. But the brother church, the charismatic churches, you would think ngoba wona
they understand more
understand
the plight.
better as opposed to lamasonto
Ngoba la ngokuhamba phela mabomu.
But uphinzo ngabasoli, you know, le landscape nale environment yalakhaya is something else,
Ngoba ushaya Thulani utitshele ukuthi ngishaye Thulani but ngishaye 20,000 others because you are instilling fear to many people.
Exactly.
No, ngiyakuva. But what is let's talk to the foundation now ukuthi ingabe iyacatfuta yini tawuqhubeka phela sithembe kuyo ukuthi tawuqhubeka the legacy of Thulani and consistently keep Thulani's name in our mouths forever. Kukhona yini lokucatfutako and what help does it need if it needs help and all of that?
Thulani Maseko Foundation ma early stages ayo. Thulani Maseko Foundation ayisiyo ya Tanele Maseko noma yangosenhle ngozivile Maseko. Thulani was bigger than Tanele or anyone else. So Thulani Maseko Foundation ya wonke muntu who values democracy, who values human rights, who values the rule of law. Now, Thulani Maseko Foundation, at its core mandate, is seeking justice for Thulani, number one, but also seeking justice for the 2021 victims. That is in a broader nutshell, but Thulani Maseko Foundation, itaba legacy ya Maseko. It will carry the legacy and maintain a legacy ya Maseko. That's number one, but also Thulani believed in public litigation. Thulani believed in advocacy. Thulani believed in an open dialogue. Also under flagship, Thulani Maseko Foundation will be the Thulani Maseko School of Political Dialogue and Politics. So that different exercises like that endege under this Thulani Maseko Foundation. But anyone who wants to support Thulani Maseko Foundation is welcome. Any organization, be it technical, because bantu bacabanga ukuthi now uthi assistance ufuna imali. No. Technically, you have your researchers, you have your innovators who can come and show us a different angle. You have your historians, labangeta bathi how do we then preserve legacy ya
Maseko? Baselimkokwini bangacabanga ukuthi bancane kanti they can put the pictures together, they can take the audios. There's a lot that can be done.
So ngithi mangoba Thulani Maseko Foundation is open to everyone who values lama values le Maseko believed in, which is social justice, democracy, the rule of law, and democracy. So if you value and you really treasure those, I think you are part of the TMF.
Yeah, I think there's a new prime minister now, Russell. If you were to listen to this and you have a message to him, especially with regards to the investigation or otherwise, what would you say to lo hulumende ngoba ngeke ukhulumene ngonyama batawuthi yaniketa hulumende ukuthi arane. We can debate that, but here is a new government. Inherited what would you think? He's a man of Christ, you are told. So what would be your message if you were to? We have not spoken, right? We really not. This is the first time. It's more or less an exclusive. So it's the first time you are speaking directly and people are hearing your voice. I hope
you interestingly say he is a man who is said to be a Christian now. I am following Yonkin Falendeka Uhulumende, and I just looked at everything and I said, oh, well, the system hasn't changed, so it's part of the system. To me, good elokshinjile, really. Tingundla solo abusa, so good elokshinjile. But if you talk about Russell, the person, I would say, as it pertains to the Thulani, seeking for justice for Thulani, ngingathi I'm not happy with him. He echoed spokespersons of government to say they will have to look into my statements as the government to see what can be done to umuntu lokhuluma kanje. It is there on paper, kwaphuma paper in Times of Swaziland. That was his conduct, his posture, and the way that he presented it to say, as government, they would look into it. But mina ngangikholelwa ukuthi, as you say, he's a Christian. LiBhayibheli lithi bafelokati uNkulunkulu babukele. And him, I think, as you say, he's a Christian. Bengiva ngathi ngabuya ngi-embrace to say government will look into the investigation of Thulani Maseko, but he went there punching holes to say and putting me on the spot. So when you talk about Russell Dlamini, mine Russell Dlamini ungifananela na Barnabas, ungifananela na Cleopas, he is part of the establishment. Yena, he's just there to tick a box to say kusi via ngibile prime minister, but kusi as a Maswati solo angenile into office. For me, I'm not happy. And but ubuya ka disaster, kubene disaster mawenga kamanzini. Those people are still crying even nanamudla. You talk about the health crisis, they say he's a miracle man. He ngetehlakalo apparently nabamphakamisa bathi dawenda dongetehlakalo. We still have a crisis with the health system. So to me, it's nothing new. I know he'll want to make his superiors happy. I know he won't want to. He want to impress. Bonke bafika ba impress the system and the status quo. So. He doesn't strike me as someone who's going to do anything. Tawuphela i-term of office yakhe nangabe bajabulile naye but aphinze bambuyisela ngithi bathi bayabulala so bathi aphinze bambulale afe avuke and whatever. So to me
But what do you know if there are any pressure points the international community can establish, even if without the blessing of Hulumende, to do their own investigation, not wait for Hulumende?
They can if they are willing. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I wouldn't want to say a lot, but I'm sure they will because as the international community, you also want to observe that country to say, what are they doing towards this? And then I think about observing babuka. And I think they will want to do something. They will be doing something. I wouldn't want to say much on that though, but I think loyatiko i-landscape yala kangwane. Uyati ukuthi isikuphi and uyati vele ukuthi ngekubulala Thulani bebabheke ukuthi kutawuthula ukuthi icwaka ngoba bona baphela ukukhuluma ngekuthula kani abadi ukuthi kuthula kusho kuthini. Kuthula kusho ukuthi angikhona ke esibhedlela ngithola imithi ndaba nekuthula. Kuthula akusho ukuthi umfana nami akathi nakaphase kahle kube nendlela ukuthi asithole scholarship. Kuthula kusho ukuthi angijabule ngenhlala kahle yami kube bede umuntu lotawufika kusasa athi ngongishifu ngithatha umhlaba wakho angibe nalo ilungelo lekukhulumela angibe nalo ilungelo lekukhetha Hulumende kuthula ke lokho. So if nangabe utawengula upretende uforce esandla abantu banyathele ngelibhutse
ngoba kuthula nekuthulisa kuhlukile.
Thank you. Kuthula nekuthulisa so thina siyathuliswa and wakhuluma uhlonga ndlebe awuhloniphi angithi mina ngibukakale ngilomfelokati longahloniphi angathi noma kune criteria noma kune code of conduct yebafelokati mhlambe lengite yona mina so ngiko ngithi siyacinzeteleka. So wathi uyakhuluma lokuthi ngicinzeletekile dabahlonga ndlebe daba terrorist awuhloniphi awukakhuliseki kahle just because you seek to get and establish the truth. So I think eMaswati njengoba sihamba atawuhamba bone and ngiyacela ukuthi eMaswati siwabeketelele ngoba labanye abantu bakholwa ngekuvala isicathulo simshisa ukuthi bese uyasikhumula lo munye ufuna ukubona kwendeka kuye labanye ke sebavele babonile labanye they are talking to say how can we assist in the foundation, what do you need, ordinary swazis. So banfu asingabatheki ubone umuntu ayencwaleni ubone umuntu ayemhlangeni. People now understand because they've also stolen the culture yekuthi no bantu bayathanda because lisuko lencwala vele lisiko leMaswati
but also ngithi ngicamane lokunye kuletinto leto ngiyajabula nje it's the first time ngibomba ibeka lemvo ngoba lo munye uya ngoba lena emsebentini phela bagathi
Yes.
lo munye le business yetenda lapha la
Exactly.
ayitholile bafuna ukubona ukuthi uvele so
Exactly.
sometimes you're then easy to judge and label everyone and alienate even people who are sympathetic to the
Exactly.
cause.
Ngiko ngithi as comrades, as colleagues, as members of the mass democratic movement, we've got to be critical in our thinking. Akusiyo umuntu lo encwaleni lo endorser that system. Lo munye is the love of culture, it's the beauty of culture. Lo munye vele kusemsebentini, I must be there. Ngoba nangaba ngibonakala vele kusini kwasebantu abami. You know, I'll tell you, there are military people, emaphoyisa, emasotsha, emawada, who are very sympathetic. But awudlani vele uthi abashonephi. Yabo. So you ufuna ukuthi uyibukele ndivona ubabona bacwebetela sihle phela Siswati. Sihle Siswati, I don't want to lie, but this system of Tinkundla has monopolized the culture to people outside. But yabona abantu abafunani. But if you look critically, they've stolen the culture, they've hijacked culture. Kubukeke ukuthi it's for royalty, it's culture yemaswati simaswati vele ngidawuvunula ngicobetele ngibe muhle ngikhehle kahle sicholo sami muhle vele it's who I am, it is my identity. So I think as senda tindvo Maseko nje abedadi ukuthi lingcamane la kahleko bongeke umkhweshise lapho abadi ukuthi medem kude lo ngangisusa mina la ngilusile la ngenda konke inkhaba yami ila. So as Swazis we also have to craft our own form of democracy. Singahawukeli sibuka bo Nelson Mandela bo Winnie. Let's craft our own democracy ngendlela yethu yekuphila kwethu simaswati njenge environment singabuki lokuchamuka le because I democracy ayisho ukuthi sekufune ukope kwebantu craft and create your own. That was Maseko to say, madam, I think we need to have a conversation to say let democracy lesithi siyayifuna nguyiphi.
Yes.
Can't we craft our own?
Yes.
Can't we create our own unique to the Swazi question?
Yes.
You know, so
kahle hlena uzikhuluma njena Tshwanisho bambulela lide ngoba he was not even in the extreme labamcabanga khona ukuthi awususe qayile phansi yonke ngosithulane no sitawuthatha nakwakuyini enikufunako nalana thathani ngakithi sitawubese sakhalwe sisivumelene sonke.
Exactly.
Yes,
That is why Thulani was saying an open, all-inclusive dialogue, which means we have everyone in this round table to say mina naku sihlale phasi compromise sibe resolute. Yabo obengasho Maseko sitawubambelana tibhamu sihambe sicashe emabhuna abuya sibula no bekangathi Maseko asisufika nalapho asihlale phasi ngithi mina ngibuye enkhondleni lensirenzi so mina ngicabanga ukuthi asicraft kanje sikwende kanje kube kwethu sik-own as emaswati.
yes.
So Maseko bambulalele lide, and I think whoever ordered the hit, whoever lo wenda le execution la khona ngicela tibude ukuthi really ngimbulele ini Maseko ngibese ngitholani ngoba I-question ye democracy it won't run away. Utambulala Maseko umbulale Tanele umbulale Mancoba, but the question will be there.
That's true. Yo no cha siyabonga kakhulu make Maseko. It's such a very illuminating conversation.
Thank you.
And ngivu ngazothi Thulani bekasifihlele a fire in you or she has brought the fire in you. I hope many other women are inspired, and also you also take your time to heal, but I guess the biggest healing will be getting like Fisa in life. I think that will really make you more happier. Finally ungeva ukuthi he was indeed a sacrificial lamb, but for something worth it.
Yes, I nginako in me abehlale athi ki madam nangabe angiyiboni lenkuleko wena awuyiboni bantwana babonkosi enhle nangozivila abayibona, but abathi bafunza leti incwadi the history bakhanze ukuthi Thulani Rudolf Maseko wende nako to contribute.
Yes.
You know, so for us lala ukhona awutibude ukuthi ngendani mina kuze ngitholele inkululeko. What am I doing in your little spaces lapho la ukhona what are you doing to advance le nkululeko lesithi siyayifuna? Thank you so much.
No cha siyabonga kakhulu.